Hello everyone, my name is Ren with a Pen, and welcome back to my Tavern of Treacherous TTRPG tales. Today we have an extra juicy one from Reddit user Lulustration under the RPG Horror Stories subreddit. This one is called My Doppelganger Stole My Boyfriend. Not entirely sure if this belongs here, but since D&D has a central role, I figured it might. I'm a 26-year-old cis female who loves D&D. By a string of bizarre coincidences, I met this boy on holiday. He worked at an escape room we didn't actually plan to do, but because of a change of plans, we ended up there last minute. After we solved the room, the employee and I somehow started talking about D&D, and when he left for a second, I had all the eyes of my friends staring at me. Get his number! Now, I'm absolutely way too awkward for that, so I wrote my name and number on a napkin, shoved it in his hand once we left, and walked away as fast as I could think. Thinking that this was it, and we would laugh about it later. But he did text me, and I texted back. The text turned into a long conversation, then long video calls, and pretty soon, a real date. The date was amazing, and we just had so much in common. His last train home was pretty early, so I offered him to stay because we had so much fun, and one thing led to another. 2 weeks filled with almost non-stop contact later, we were deeply in love. He managed to get a day off to visit me at my favorite fantasy festival. There, I gave him a hand-drawn card that said, "You rolled a nat 20 on persuasion. Would you like to be my boyfriend?" He said yes, and we had an amazing day. That week, I went to his house, since he had come to mine the weeks prior, and I tagged along to his weekly Adventurers League-style D&D club, where he is one of the DMs. We were early, but there was another girl already waiting there. We'll call her Mandy. We talked a little, she seemed shy, but pretty nice. Then others arrived, and I got confused for Mandy a few times, even though these people knew her for a while. And were just introduced to me. We looked fairly similar. 8 days later, boyfriend tells me over video call. We had been calling since every night if we weren't together. He got a weird text from Mandy. She asked if I can give her a ride home next week, but she always rides with Joey, not his real name, because they're really good friends. I asked if everything's alright, and she said it's not, but she doesn't want to cause any drama. We had planned that I would stay with him that week, so after D&D I stalled a bit with the other players so boyfriend could have a talk with Mandy in private to figure out what was wrong. When they came back, I quietly asked her, "You okay?" She nods. We bring her home, and I try to cheer her up a little in the car. After we drop her off, boyfriend tells me everything. So she told Joey things with her boyfriend of 6 years were bad, and she wanted to leave him, and Joey was all supportive and stuff. But last week she broke up with her boyfriend, and when Joey brought her home, he got a bit too friendly. While comforting her, and she told him to stop, but he touched her in places she didn't want him to. He was absolutely furious, but also a bit surprised by my lack of surprise. I said that I had already suspected it. I explained to him that sadly, I don't know any woman of our age who doesn't have an experience like this. I told him how I almost got by someone I trusted, and that I'm proud of him for helping and being a good friend to Mandy. During that week, he converses with Mandy, Joey, and the other DMs, and they decide to ban Joey from playing at their club. That weekend, I was at his place again, because he and his friends had a party on Saturday, and he wanted to introduce me, and Sunday I was a guest player in their campaign. They were so great, and exactly the people I would have picked as friends. On Monday morning, before he drops me off at the train station, he says in this happy, lovey-dovey voice, "Happy official 1-month anniversary. I love you." Is it the 5th? Oh, you're right. Happy anniversary, honey. I love you too. That afternoon, we make plans over text for this weekend, but when we call at night, suddenly everything's different. Mandy told me she likes me. I'm so confused. I used to have a crush on her, but I also really like you. I tried to stay calm and supportive. I explained to him that she's probably subconsciously projecting feelings of loneliness onto him because he was genuinely kind to her, and that if she actually liked him, she wouldn't have waited until he had a girlfriend. No, she said she's only felt that for me for 3 weeks. I quickly calculate. 3 weeks ago, you brought me to D&D for the first time. He had been in a total state of panic this whole time, and then he dumped me because he suddenly had fear of commitment and didn't want to lead me on. I'm completely heartbroken. He made me feel something I thought didn't exist. 2 months ago, I was absolutely fine without it, and now that it's gone, I've barely been able to eat or sleep. I think I'm going crazy. Well, Lulustration, I hope that whatever feelings that are coursing through your brain and through your heart right now, I hope that everything gets better soon. And this is definitely something that isn't within my rights to say, but happiness is out there for you, and fuck 'em. Am I right? Moral of the story is sometimes people can be lustful at times, and love isn't always what you think. That's the end of the story. See you tomorrow.